Welcome to the Probes Podumentary. Our Podumentary is a series of audio documentaries on topics and stories that matter to people and are part of a public interest journalism in India. You're listening to me, Prema Sridevi. Here is a new episode of a Podumentary titled Ragging Menace, Few Solutions in Sight. Professor Rajendra Kachroo's son, Aman Kachroo, a 19-year-old medical student, died in 2009 because of ragging. Aman died of injuries suffered after 4 drunk seniors ragged him in Himachal Pradesh. Over a decade has passed since the Aman Kachroo ragging incident, but ragging-related cases have not receded in India. Aman's father, Professor Rajendra Kachroo, started the Aman movement to work towards the eradication of ragging in our educational institutions.
I did not have that idea that Aman, my son, could face this kind of violence in the college. So I was not prepared, and many parents whose children still suffer, like 3 kids, I have talked to their parents who committed suicide this year. Their parents did not have the idea that this level of violence can happen in a professional college. So when Aman passed away, and there were people, many of my friends, relations, myself, family, they said we want justice for this thing. But for me, the idea of justice was not to go and punish those 4 children who had committed the crime. I did not pursue that route. I pursued the route of ensuring that the ragging does not happen in India. So I went around and designed a ragging prevention program, got it approved by the Supreme Court, got it approved by the Parliament then, and then implemented it until April 2019. In my opinion, my job would be done only when the ragging will be completely eliminated from India, but it's a long haul. Eradication of ragging in India is not only a human rights project, but it's the most important educational project India can ever take. I repeat it again and again, most important educational project India can ever take is to eradicate ragging.
We spoke to Akshit Srivastava, another victim of ragging. His seniors ragged Akshit within the college premises, but despite complaining to the management, the college refused to act and brushed the matter under the rug.
Initially, I complained to the college management. They took the note. Then they just called the senior. They just counseled, okay, this has happened. This shouldn't happen again. They haven't taken any action. And it was going so brutally that later on the college refused that something has happened to me, college was under this is about our image, we can't do anything, hamara naam kharab ho jayega if we make any police complaint or something. So in my case, or I think in so many cases, why this incident happened, because college authority don't take action. And it was very miserable for me, because if I wanted to pursue my education in that college, seniors won't, I can't study at all. And even if I want to study, that seniors can't let me study. If I want to quit, the college management were having my all documents, so it was very miserable.
In the name of breaking the ice, the lives of numerous students and their families continue to be broken in India because of ragging. A video of alleged ragging at a government medical college in Haldwani in Uttarakhand went viral this year, in which numerous students with their heads shaved and hands tied at their backs were seen walking in queues around the college campus. Dr. Kushal Banerjee, the co-founder of Society Against Violence in Education, says he recently discovered another incident wherein the students of a homoeopathic medical college had developed a ragging manual.
Very recently, there was an event from a homeopathic medical college. Actually, here we found that the seniors, they have issued a booklet. You can imagine, in this time, after the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court and all the regulations and everything, if in this homeopathic medical college, the seniors have created a printed or a soft copy, at least we got the PDF. So there is a booklet there. It's a manual of ragging. How are they going to rag the juniors? It was really shocking. We have taken this issue with the higher authorities. We have warned the college that we are going to the Prime Minister's office, we are going to the Ayush Ministry and Human Rights Commission everywhere. The college principal is assuring that he will take every step possible for the protection of the juniors and to implement the CCTV cameras which they do not have.
Meera Kaura Patel, an advocate and the legal head of Society Against Violence in Education, says much of the problem in India stems from the fact that we still don't have a stringent national anti-ragging law. Some states in India have devised their own legislation on ragging, and under the existing framework, punishment for ragging is not severe.
We still lack a national anti-ragging law. So we do have some state legislation on ragging. Different states have come up with their own legislation. Only few of them really make ragging a cognizable offence. Most of the other states have either not come up with a ragging regulation, which is like an anti-ragging act, not just the legislation which is governing at university level, but it's also, a legislation which should penalize, which should impose some kind of penalty on the students. So that anti-ragging legislation on a national level is required, which is the need of the hour, and we do not have it yet.
Ragging continues to claim the lives of many students in India. This month, a 19-year-old student was found dead at a university in Haryana. The student's family alleged that ragging was the cause of the death. The reluctance of police to register FIRs in cases related to ragging and the unwillingness of institutions to accept the prevalence of ragging on their campuses have only added to the problem.
In some states, ragging is not even made a cognizable offence in itself. Okay, so what happens is, if the ragging incident involves, a series of other offences along with ragging. For example, while ragging a student, he was, asked to perform certain tasks which led to injuries or which led to grievous injuries. So along with ragging, a grievous injury could be there. There could be cases where, there is outraging of modesty of women. Women are asked to do something which would outrage their modesty. So those kind of sections get added to ragging. Then police registers a complaint because an FIR is filed then because it's cognizable offence. But ragging in itself is not a cognizable offence in many states. So the students do go to police. They would not register FIR. They'll say, well, this is not a cognizable offence. We cannot register an FIR for this. We can only receive your complaint and you go to the court.
A few days back, the University Grants Commission, UGC, wrote to all colleges and universities advising them to strengthen their anti-ragging mechanisms before the new semester begins. According to Tejeswar Parida, convener of the Ragging Free Campus Abhiyan, colleges usually don't disclose ragging-related incidents as it takes a hit on their image. This is one of the primary reasons we don't see action against students who indulge in ragging.
प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि इसको एग्जीक्यूशन करने वाले जितने लॉ हैं उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करने वाले कौन है? ये होते हैं जो इंस्टीट्यूशन, और इंस्टीट्यूशन रैगिंग का केस को एक टैबू समझती है. उनको लगता है कि अगर रैगिंग का केस बाहर निकल के आता है तो हमारी एक छवि खराब हो जाएगी, और इसलिए हमको रैगिंग की अगर कोई घटना घटती है उसको हम बाहर आने नहीं देंगे, और अगर ये रैगिंग की घटना घटती है तो उसको एक क्वारल हुआ है बच्चों के बीच में, ऐसे कह करके हम लोग उसको वहीं पे ही रख लेते हैं और FIR दर्ज नहीं करते हैं, थाने में स्टूडेंट्स नहीं जाते हैं. एंटी रैगिंग हेल्पलाइन जो यूजीसी का जारी किया गया है उसको जो फोन करते हैं या जो ईमेल पे देते हैं तो वो फिर क्या करते हैं कि उसको जो राज्य स्तर पर जो इंस्टीट्यूशन है उसको वो फिर फॉरवर्ड कर देते हैं, वहीं पे वो भेज देते हैं. और जब ये इंस्टीट्यूशन जब इंक्वायरी बैठाती है तो कौन करता है इंक्वायरी करते हैं एंटी रैगिंग कमेटी, एंटी रैगिंग सेल. और ये एंटी रैगिंग सेल में कौन कौन होते हैं? एंटी रैगिंग सेल में ज्यादातर प्रोफेसर लोग ही रहते हैं, ये इंक्लूसिव आजकल नहीं बन रहा है, यानी कि उसमें हर ईयर के स्टूडेंट्स होना चाहिए, नहीं होते हैं। इसमें पेरेंट्स होना चाहिए, नहीं रहते हैं। लोकल सोशल वर्कर होना चाहिए, लोकल थाने के अधिकारी होना चाहिए, लोकल जर्नलिस्ट होना चाहिए। इन लोगों को नहीं लिया जाता है। और ये जो टीचर्स हैं उनको प्रिंसिपल जो बोलते हैं, डीन जो बोलते हैं वही करते हैं उनका। और ये लोग नहीं चाहते हैं अपने कॉलेज में हॉस्टलों में रैगिंग हो रहा है, इसको अगर हम मान लें तो यूजीसी ने जो कहा है कि आपको फंडिंग नहीं देंगे, रेगुलेटरी अथॉरिटीज भी कहा है कि अगर ये रैगिंग का केस चलता रहा तो आपको प्रोजेक्ट नहीं देंगे, पैसा नहीं आएगा। वो ये और इसी के कारण से सच मानते नहीं है।
The University Grants Commission has also requested educational institutions to take preventive steps, install CCTV cameras on college campuses, and create anti-ragging cells. The Commission has asked colleges to hold anti-ragging training programs, workshops, and seminars and update the institution's websites with the nodal officer's contact details. Retired IPS officer Rakesh Kumar Mishra says ragging can only be contained when institutions that allow students to get away with ragging are de-recognized.
All these medical colleges or these various colleges, they are either under university or under some national level commissions or committees. So those committees will have to frame stringent regulations of taking punitive action, taking administrative action, taking action up to de-recognizing the colleges in which such things are reported.
In 2001, the Supreme Court of India banned ragging. In 2009, after the death of Aman Kachroo, the University Grants Commission set up a nationwide toll-free anti-ragging helpline. But Tejaswar Parida says our national action on ragging has been limited so far. Much more needs to be done to save the lives and careers of students who fall prey to ragging.
7 राज्यों में रैगिंग, प्रोहिबिशन ऑफ रैगिंग एक्ट है, ये हर राज्य में आना चाहिए। नहीं तो फिर सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट एक एक्ट बना दे, प्रोहिबिशन ऑफ रैगिंग एक्ट, और पूरे देश में इसको लागू की जाए। दूसरा बात है कि रैगिंग के ऊपर हर राज्य में टास्क फोर्स बनाया जाए और रैगिंग को कैसे डील किया जाए उसके ऊपर देखना चाहिए। तीसरा है पुलिस का, हर स्टेट में जो स्टेट पुलिस है उसका एक ह्यूमन राइट्स प्रोटेक्शन सेल है, HRPC, उसमें 24/7 रैगिंग हेल्पलाइन कम काउंसलिंग सेंटर होना चाहिए, और जो कि है नहीं, क्योंकि यूजीसी में जो फोन करते हैं कोई ग्रामीण क्षेत्र के, कोई उड़ीसा का लड़का है, कोई तमिलनाडु का है, कोई बंगाल का है, जो कि उसको पूरा अपने लैंग्वेज में, अपना वर्नाकुलर लैंग्वेज में अगर वो बात करेगा अपने स्टेट के हेल्पलाइन नंबर पे, तो अच्छे से वो बेहतर बोल सकता है, बेहतर कम्युनिकेट कर सकता है। तो हर राज्य में एंटी रैगिंग हेल्पलाइन नंबर होना चाहिए।
Bullying and ragging are not considered serious offences in India. Instead of providing relief to the aggrieved students, most institutions indulge in covering up the tracks of the aggressors. Professor Rajendra Kachroo, who lost his son to ragging, says colleges must be downgraded and acted against if they are caught shielding the culprits.
If need be, that these colleges should be downgraded because of ragging, because the judges also thought that you cannot have an excellent college where there is no freedom of thinking. It's contradictory. So, ragging does not only affect people, physically, it doesn't only harm them, disturb them mentally, but it also diminishes their thinking ability. Very, very long time. And that has a tremendous impact on our economy, on our scientific research, on our growth as a nation.
In India, like the Aman movement, many movements have cropped up against ragging. But year on year, numerous cases of ragging get reported from institutions across the country. Meera Kaura Patel says, India at 75 deserves better. Ragging is a crime and the only reward for it must be jail.
See, the way forward, I feel that, a lot of awareness programs, counseling programs, psychological programs have to be organized in the institutions. firstly to, make them understand the repercussions of their actions. Now UGC regulations have said that, it is mandatory to file an affidavit. The affidavit has to be there where you state that I will not do any kind of ragging. The worst case that I had heard was one from South, where when the student refused to, he was being ragged and he refused to perform a task. He was actually he was killed. His body was cut into pieces. Apart from the suicides and all which are taking place, one is that, you've cornered the student to an extent that the student is thinking of committing suicide. And it is, another thing altogether to injure that person directly, to harm that person directly. So we often feel that, what are we nurturing in our educational institutions? What do we really want these people to become? These are going to be responsible citizens of India. Is this the India that we really want to create?